I wrote a book. Now what the heck am I supposed to do? I'm going to tell you. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It's your girl, Kelsey, rom-com author, comedian, YouTuber, podcaster, oversharer, bestie on the internet. This series, I answer viewer questions from fellow writers on the YouTubes. You can submit a question at kelseyhumphreys.com/writing if you want to tell me something that's a little bit longer than a YouTube comment. Today we are talking about what are we doing? What are we even doing once we write the book? Okay. Now I have lots of videos about this, but I thought I would just make a beginner. Here's 101 what we're going to do. So I have Susie from Memphis, and she's switching from writing nonfiction to fiction. And this was kind of her question is like, well, what do I do next to get readers for my future series? Then I have Aubrey from Indiana, and she says she's about to finish her first manuscript. Way to go, Aubrey. Finishing is like 75% of the battle. And so she wants to know where to go from there because she's got her first book done. Where do we go from there? Okay. And then I've got Liz in Maine, and she has a 5-book series. We're like standing ovation. Book 1 is ready. Book 2 is almost ready. Books 3, 4, and 5 are basically written, but they need editing. Covers are almost done. Yeah, I have an author page, but it's not active yet. I realized I needed a reader magnet, so I did a prequel to the whole series. Great strategy. That's what I always do. My question is the order in which to publish and do the linking and newsletter sign up and all that stuff. So and she also says, by the way, I love your videos. I love you too, girl. Now, I'm going to contradict myself right off the bat. First, I want you to finish an entire book, but also one book is not enough. So at the same time, I also want you to plot a whole series. I have a free guide. It's called One Book to Best-Selling Series. You can get it at kelseyhumphreys.com/writing. Because the reason that I have been so successful as a writer is because I made a series right off the bat. I released the first 2 books right close together, and I did my influencer campaign with my bookstagrammers and book talkers. I sent them 2 books at a time as like a duology, even though they were standalones. And then there were 4 more books in that series, and I published every 90 days until personal stuff. We adopted 4 children, and then we got pregnant. And so our family exploded from a family of 3 to a family of 8 in under a year, which is why I'm passionate on this channel, talking to people who are busy. You have 2 jobs, you're caring for your elderly parents, whatever. I know we have a lot going on, which is why I'm not giving you fluffy advice. This is for having a career. You want to be a full-time fiction writer? You've come to the right place. You have to have a series. You may have a full manuscript right now. Great. What's the rest of the series? What's your next spinoff? Take the best friends, take the side characters, stay in the same world, and build out a series. I recommend 4 books in a series. Then you're publishing every 90 days. That gets you through a whole year of releases, and that will change your entire life that year. Okay, so those are the steps 1 and step 1. Plotting out a whole series and finishing an entire book. Then what? Your manuscript is finished. Then what? Then after those 2 step 1s are complete, you're going to edit that first book yourself, go through it with a fine-tooth comb, rewrite what needs to be rewritten. Then you're going to find an editor. How do I find an editor? Well, there are Facebook groups for writers and editors. There are local people you can connect with. If you know any writers, like maybe your friends of friends, you can reach out to them, say, hey, who edited your book? I've done that. You can also go look in the back matter for authors who are similar to you and figure out who their editor was, because they will thank them in the acknowledgments, and reach out to that editor and ask them if they're taking on any more books. You're going to have to spend money. You can also reach out to friends and family and see if anyone is in, like maybe a college graduate who is recently graduated or about to graduate, and they are majoring in English, communication, publishing, writing. So find yourself an editor. There's plenty of ways to do this. Then you send that book off to the editor and you begin writing book 2. Okay? You finish book 2. Somewhere in the time while you're working on book 2, book 1 will come back, and then you will pause writing book 2 and make those edits. And then usually that version of your book goes to a proofreader. Sometimes a proofreader can also be a beta reader, meaning as they are looking for typos, they might also look for things that sound weird or could be offensive or are like outdated terminology. For example, I was accidentally still using the term master bedroom, which is not cool. And one of my beta readers, Holly, shout out, was like, you should change this to primary bedroom. Great catch. That's the kind of thing that happens on that proofreading cycle. So that's off there. You're finishing book 2. Proofread comes back. Your book is finished. You're going to do final edits. You're going to send it to a formatter. Where do you find a formatter? All the editors will know formatters. Other authors will have formatters. You can format yourself. You can go on YouTube and search how to use different softwares and do the editing yourself. I was trained, my degree, my fallback degree in case music didn't work out was art. So I already know how to edit. I have outsourced some of my formatting before, but they're a little too slow for me. I like to move really fast and I can edit that myself. And InDesign is what I use, which is like much harder than it has to be. And I should probably switch to something simpler, but I never will because like the old curmudgeon that I am, that's what I know. And I'm sticking with it. You then have the book formatted, okay? At that point, you're sending book 2 manuscript through this same process. So, editor, edit again, proofreader, beta reader. Then at that point, actually your formatter is before your beta reader because they're going to read it on their phone. So, editor, edit again, proofreader, formatter, ARC readers, beta readers. ARC readers, ARC stands for Advanced Reader Copy. Advanced reader copies go out to people who read books in advance on purpose. They know that this is part of the arrangement. They're getting the book for free on their e-reader, sometimes physical copies, but it's usually only TradPub that does that. And in exchange, they're going to leave a review on Amazon. Now, their review might be 3 stars or 2 stars. That has happened to me. It happens that they may hate your book, but that's fine. The point is you want a lot of reviews. You want to launch your book with 50, 100 reviews. The way to get those ARC reviewers is through NetGalley and Book Sirens. So you go on and you Google how to get on NetGalley. There's usually co-ops, or you can buy yourself, or you can go in with other people. You'll find it. You'll figure it out. And those websites, their job is to bring in the readers and send your book to readers. So, people who are interested in your genre click and see, hey, what's new right now in sci-fi, and they will see your book and they will agree to read it in advance of the publication date and leave a review on Amazon and Goodreads. Some of them will also leave a review on Instagram or TikTok. Usually when you send off to ARC readers, you want to have the published date live on Amazon. If you have your published date live on Amazon, that means you set up a KDP account, you set up your author page, you probably have a little website. Don't worry about your website. Nobody cares about your website yet. Just something that shows you're a real professional human being with a picture that you're a human. And you can start telling people to pre-order. So having a pre-order on Amazon, you tell people, hey, you can pre-order my book. It's coming out in about a month. Some people do like 6-month long pre-orders. I will have my book available for pre-order, but I don't really push, hey, order until a couple weeks before. I find that works best for the algorithm for me. Then you launch book 1, and when you launch book 1, you want to be far enough along in book 2 that book 2 is set for pre-order and you're already writing book 3. Maybe you're already writing book 4. So you might do the whole first part of this process and not publish yet. So you do the proofreader and the beta readers and the format and it's ready to go. And you wait to do the ARC readers and the publish date and the pre-orders until you're in book 3 or 4. Because you want to be publishing every 90 days. So when you publish book 1, you have a 90-day pre-order for book 2. You go through that whole process. When you go through book 2, or when you publish book 2, you have a 90-day pre-order window for book 3. Right now, I'm at a 6-month pre-order window, and that really bothers me. I wish it was closer together because that's how you make money. That's how I made my money. That's how I established myself and got a engaged readership and had a lot going on. It was really, things were popping. I was being, mentioned on Book Talk, and people were tagging me all the time on Bookstagram, getting tons of DMs. 90 days is the sweet spot. But personally in my life, I just can't keep that up right now. So I'm just doing as fast as I can to keep up a schedule so that if somebody goes and they loved your book, they can see, oh, she's got another one coming out. This is a real author. This is a real creative business that puts out products. And so then you've got your books coming out. When you finish a series, take a few months off until you've got another 2 books in your next series, or keep your series going. There are people who have really long series and it works for them. I don't want to stay in the same world that long. So I have a 6-book series with a free prequel that has a spin-off that's 3 books. And then I have a new series I want to start after that. I also have a romantasy trilogy that I'm finishing this year. 2 books are finished in that. And our family exploded and my whole life turned upside down right as I was working on book 3. So if you have read book 1 and 2 of my romantasy trilogy, I'm so sorry. And thank you so much for sticking with me. I get messages all the time like, bruh, where is book 3? I know that what I just said was a lot. And there's a question in there about prequels. And when do you release a prequel? A prequel and a reader magnet is a good idea to have. I would recommend adding that into your series when you already have maybe 2 or 3 books done. Why? It seems like you would want to have it beforehand. Well, because I'm worried that you're going to spend all of your marketing energy and your writing time and all this processing on a free giveaway. Like a free giveaway, that is an addition. So what I do is at the back of all my books, it says, hey, don't forget you can read the parent story for free. So don't miss this part of the series. Another way to treat your frequel, another way to treat your freebie, which a prequel is a great idea, could be a bonus side character, a spin-off character, is to do a campaign on BookFunnel. Now, the way this works is BookFunnel has newsletters that are all about free books for a certain genre. So you would go on and say, I have a crime thriller free book. I want to join your newsletter. And each newsletter has different requirements. So maybe you have to have an email list of at least 100 people and you have to email your 100 people about the whole month specials. Does that make sense? Here's the thing about freebies. I want you to do it as an add-on at the end of your books rather than focusing a lot of energy on getting new readers from a I keep saying frequel, getting new readers from a freebie. Lots of people will read your freebie and never read another book from you. They have Kindles stuffed full of freebies. And like mad props, they're reading tons of books for free. Great books. Like that is, I get it. Like why not do that? But you as an author, you're running a business and you can't just have a bunch of freeloaders who never plan to buy from you and who are never going to go and invest in the time to leave Amazon reviews and tell their friends and post online. Like you need real fans, real community of readers who want your books. So don't spend a ton of time and energy on your freebie. Now, I think you need one. You should have one. The way I use mine now is when I post on Instagram, I always remind people, hey, if you're just here stalking me, just checking me out, I have a freebie that I give away. Comment freebie. And ManyChat will send it to you. At the beginning, though, I had my first two books out. And then I went and I probably got 4,000, 5,000 free readers from doing what I told you. BookFunnel, newsletter swaps, free giveaway, rom-coms. And sometimes it was even more focused than that of like college rom-coms because that's what my prequel freebie was. The thing about it is when I went and looked inside MailChimp and looked at my numbers, most of those people never opened an email from me ever again, and I deleted all of them. I deleted maybe all but 1,000 of them. I mean, that's painful because you're looking at your email list and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I am cooking. Look at me. I'm so successful. No, you've just gathered a bunch of freebie seekers who will never buy your other books. That's why it's much better to have bonus scenes and to have a free offering that you can give. Like the way I think about the freebie now is somebody's already kind of interested. So like maybe you have a table set up and you're doing an author signing or you're at a book fair or something like that, and someone walks by and they pick up a book and they're like kind of interested, but they're not quite ready to buy. And you can say, hey, if you're not sure to buy right now, I give away a whole book for free, or I give away a novella for free. You can check out my style. You can actually see part of the story and like check out the ranch if you write like cowboy westerns or whatever. I want you to eventually only be giving your freebie to a warm audience. Now, when you're starting at the beginning, it does help if you can get thousands and thousands and thousands of people from a cold audience. Just know you're going to lose like 80% of them. So that's more of a numbers game of like spending the time to do these free newsletter swaps and hope that you get some traction. And then finally, you're going to have to delete most of those people. But it gets a start. Okay, what am I leaving out? Giveaways and pre-order campaigns and extra swag and character art and, physical copies that you sell on your own website. All of these other things, like, you're not there yet, boo. You're not there yet. Get to the point where you have a completed series and then start thinking about ordering physical books, because your readers might want to buy the series. Like you personally. Yes, you can buy the set of 4 books signed, shipped from the author. I put little goodies in there, a little bookmark, a little doodads. Yeah, buy the complete set from me. Finish the series by buying from me. But at the beginning, when they don't know you, a lot of people, most people are just going to go get the ebook on Amazon, or they're going to go to their favorite bookstore, request it, or buy the paperback on Amazon. They're not going to buy straight from the author they don't know. So just because you have a book out, do not order 100 physical copies of it unless you have 100 moms, because your mom's the only one buying it. Right? This is how we roll here. Cold, hard truth. Nobody cares about you yet. Nobody cares. So you got to write great books, and you got to write a lot of them. And once you get to the point where your series is done, then you start thinking about, having physical inventory, selling from your website, telling people, hey, buy the box set from me, going and doing book fairs or author signing events or craft markets, pop-up shops, all that kind of thing when you have physical inventory. But did you hear me say that's like a year plus into your whole journey? A year and a half later, you're thinking about physical books. I hope that cleared it up. It's hard because it's a rolling process. I want you to think about it as like ongoing. Everything is ongoing. It's a cycle. What is the cycle of a book? Great question. Let's do that. Whether you outline or not, or you just jot down ideas, there's inception, outlining, figuring out that first book, and figuring out how to make that world into a multi-book series. That's step 1. That's inception. Then you actually write the book. Hopefully that takes you months, not years. You write the book. You edit the book yourself. Reread the whole thing and edit it. Then you find and submit that book to an editor. From there, you go from an editor and you edit it again. Then you send it to a proofreader. Then you may decide to send it to a beta reader who loves your genre. Because they would say, hey, rom-com readers are going to hate the fact that there are 2 beds. Why are there? You should make it only 1 bed. That's like such a cliche example, but you get my point. After your proofreading is done, you sit and wait until book 2 and book 3 are finished, or book 3 is almost finished. And then you begin the ARC reader process by getting it formatted. You start formatting. Somebody makes your book look pretty on ebooks and look pretty in print. ARC readers, pre-orders, publish. Publish, pre-order, next book. So this is a overlapping circles. It's a lot. I'm not going to lie to you. It's a lot. It's a business. There are so many expenses. We're not even talking about audiobooks. Holy Toledo Batman and all his friends. They are expensive. And I just took all mine down. Leave me a comment if you have more questions. If you have an in-depth question, go to kelseyhumphreys.com/writing and you can submit a more specific question to you. Okay? Get my guide, also on that page, my free guide on how to map out a world and a whole series. And this is like what I did in like Post-it notes, dry erase board. I had a big journal that I would just like do a brain map and like all these multiple pages. And I put all of that into a PDF so you can get that. And yes, there is some delusion involved in making an actual career and a profitable creative business from art. And that's why I say, stay delulu, my friends. Like, subscribe. I'll see you next week for another writing tip video.